The UFC in the past was wild. It was tournament based, and there was no judges, no weight classes, and there was no rules. No rules as you can punch someone in the no rules. Along with this, there was also no rules to a fighter's ring gear like today. It was very Street Fighter Tekken-esque. Fighters from all over the world would gather with different fighting styles and disciplines and would come together to see who was the superior fighter and what was their best fighting style. This would typically translate in what they wore, which would either represent their fighting style or background. Going back to video games for a moment, this is E Honda from Street Fighter, a sumo wrestler representing Japan. He wears a type of kimono around the waist, which is a traditional Japanese garment, and fights bare feet. This is Taylor Tully, E Honda's real life Samoan counterpart. He fought in the first ever UFC bout. He's also a sumo wrestler, fights bare feet, and wears a traditional colourful Samoan sarong around the waist to represent his heritage. Notice any similarities? And remember when I said there was no weight classes? This was his opponent. You may be wondering why you're looking at a picture of her underwear. Because this was quite popular ring gear amongst the fighters. Most notably, Ken Shamrock and Dan Severn. I guess it kept them light. At UFC 133, Dennis Hallman infamously wore very, very short speedos. We won't scare you with the images, but he left little to the imagination. This made Dana White livid. Hallman claims he done this after losing a bet. The UFC banned speedos in the promotion following the event. Footwear wasn't that uncommon either, with a lot of fighters wearing boxing/wrestling boots. Zane Frazier, who also fought at UFC 1, was an American kickboxer who wore typical kickboxing shorts. There's no way I can make this type of video and not include R. Jimison, who also fought at UFC 1. He was a boxer who's notably known for fighting with one boxing glove on and leaving the other hand free to grapple. And in his fight, not one punch was thrown, as he lost via submission. What's more classic than the gi? Joining the likes of Ryu, Ken and Akuma. There were also many early UFC fighters that wore the gi, but we are going to only talk about one. The ultimate winner of the first ever UFC event, Royce Gracie. He comes from the legendary fighting Gracie family and unsurprisingly fought with the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. This was ever present in his attire, sporting a simple white gi which was tied with a black belt. The only symbol he had on was on his back and a small print on his gi bottoms, which was the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu triangular logo. This matched Royce beautifully as he represented his legendary fighting family and embodied the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu style. The family wanted to show the world what this discipline was about, and Royce did this by winning the first ever UFC and becoming the reason grappling and Jiu-Jitsu is a staple in the MMA world. However, once the unified rules were adopted, fighters had to conform to a dress code. Shirts, gis, shoes and pants were all out. Every fighter was required to wear a cup and mouthpiece with either loose or tight fighting shorts. However, fighters would stand out by their sponsors. In this era of UFC, fighters could have custom designs on their shorts. Most fighters had more ads than a NASCAR car, which helped them have another form of revenue and made fighters more unique, having their own look and style. One of the most iconic shorts was of Chuck, the Iceman Liddell's. His blue shorts truly reflected him, having icicles going around the waistband and Iceman TV written across the front. His shorts allowed him to promote himself, as well as his team, The Pit, whose logo was often on Chuck's gear, as well as his common sponsors, Tap Out, Hardy Power, and various others. If Chuck was Sub-Zero, his rival was Scorpion, at least with his gear. Tito Ortiz had the opposite of the Iceman's gear, often having flames rise from around the bottom of his shorts. He would typically promote his team called Punishment, and have that also written on the shorts. One of the most simple looking but iconic shorts were BJ Penn's RVCA shorts, which was usually white and had a black belt graphic around the waist. This was no false advertising, as he was a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He also had Crow Cop's checkered shorts, Anderson Silva's black and yellow shorts, and Brock Lesnar's two-tone death clutch shorts. However, in 2015, custom shorts and fighters' sponsorships would come to an end. Fighters were forced to conform to an outfitting policy set by the UFC. This was due to UFC partnering up with Reebok. Becoming UFC's exclusive fight gear manufacturer, UFC would claim that it elevates the brand's look and provides athletes with higher quality gear. This would face backlash as fighters' revenue stream through sponsored would be cut off. Brendan Schaub said he took a 90% loss in income from losing his sponsors and was a major factor from his exit from the company. The Reebok shorts were simply designed with only a small selection of colours to choose from. Many were critical of the lack of uniqueness to each fighter. Krokop was denied having his trademark checkered pattern on his shorts. Bruce Mitchell campaigned to have camo shorts.
Y'all gonna have to kill me or maybe some camo shorts because I ain't shutting up till then.
Which the company eventually gave to him. However, as this happened, the UFC had ended the Reebok deal and are partnered up with Venom, though the gear has the same critique of being overly simple and not marketable for the fighters, though Bryce Mitchell received his very own Venom camo shorts fairly quick. This prompted Max Holloway to ask for his very own floral shorts, which has yet not been realised. Maybe this is the start of fighters working with the gear manufacturer to have the fighter apparel be more unique and represent the athlete. Maybe Holloway will get his floral shorts. Maybe fighters here and there will be given a pass over time. But for now, we can only reminisce.